Okay, I don't know if it's going. Hold on. Live chat. And then we're gonna. Oh, it's excellent. It's already. It already picked it. Nice. This time I didn't have to like work with it. Okay. Ooh. Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo. Yo, let's go. Alright, here, check it out. Switch back to the game at hand. Oh, yes. Isn't that nice? What a nice, evening stroll, evening swim. Yeah. So I'm to the let's see. If I'm looking at east, the north is that way, right? Never no, north is that way. Never eat shredded wheat. So wheat behind me. So that's east. So that's north. This is north. North. Okay. Anyways, so then I'm west of my base. Just west, and over there are the cherry trees, and yeah, that's my base over there. So the sun rises over there, and I'm west of my base. So I'm west of it because look down here. There's a hole. I found a hole. Where does this hole go? I don't know. We can find out, right? Oh, look. It's this fantastic stuff. It's just a cave. It's a big cave. It's way bigger than I thought from the hole in the surface. Like, it's a big cave. I don't know how big. But check it out. It keeps going and going and going and going. So yeah, it's pretty significant in terms of cave sizes. It gets down to at least... Wow, look at all of this. Okay, is this the end? Oh, I can't. There we go. Oh, that's the end. The end of one of the branches. I can't get out. Well, that's upsetting. There we go. Okay, there we go. Anyways. See, how do I get over this? Because it's stopping me. There we go. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it's a big cave, is what I'm saying. Look, it goes down this way too. Yay! Like, you wouldn't even know it from the surface, right? From the surface, it's this tiny little hole. So, I'll have to come back and check this out. I mean, I guess I can do it now, right? Because, like, what I found out is, lol, there's lava right behind it. And it ate the diamond. Oh, no, it didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4. Alright. Well, no, I didn't. I think it ate one of them. That's okay. Yeah, hey, welcome to my show. I did a big, long show on Thursday. Where I caught up everything to everything. What did I talk about? There's like court cases. So everyone knows that Donald Trump, everyone put it like that. I don't know how should I do my hair. It doesn't matter, dude. No one's looking at you. Okay. So the other day, I went out for a smoke, and there was this old white guy out there, and he's like, yeah. So what do you like? I told him like normally I'd go to like a protest on the weekends, but this weekend I'm taking a break. Like I've been out there a lot, so I need to recharge. Ooh, look at that. Okay. And so he's like, so he started asking me about like, oh, so you're going to anti-Donald Trump protests? He's like, why don't you like Donald Trump? And I told him because Donald Trump is corrupt. He tried to overthrow the government on January 6, 2021, and instead of going to trial, he delayed it until he became president, and then the Supreme Court gave him immunity. And he was still going to go to court because Jack Smith was going to prove that he broke the law before he was president. So that what he did was not in the duties of the president. Just the other day, Donald Trump said he didn't know if he was supposed to uphold the Constitution. He didn't know. He didn't know if he was supposed to uphold the Constitution. It's in his oath of office. It's in the oath that I do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution. It's like the first thing. Like, and Donald Trump said, I don't know if I have to do it. Anyways, so I was saying, like, Donald Trump didn't go to trial. He's corrupt. He's corrupt. His top dude, Elon Musk, did a Nazi salute on the presidential inauguration stage, and then the white guy said to me, "Oh, what do you mean Nazi salute?" Okay, all right, sure. What do I mean by Nazi salute? I mean he did a Sig Heil. He did the Heil Hitler thing. You know how the soldiers went marching by and raised out their arm? That's what he did. And then the old guy was like, "Okay, oh, okay." I don't know if he didn't believe me or what. But yeah, he asked. So that was like my experience, right? So in the meantime, like, Donald Trump is also like trying to install or enact ethnic cleansing in the United States. Oh shit! Oh shit! Ah ha 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 ha! Fuck me! Oh fuck me! Are you serious? Yes, I am serious. Okay. Every time I break this, it's just gonna make a new one. Like, I'm gonna die. Oh, that's funny! Oh, shit! Oh no! Well, I know where everything is. Here, let me quit out of this. Oh shit! Oh shit! I'm gonna go in another world. How funny is that shit? Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. I mean, I couldn't get out of the lava because like it was solid rock above me, and if I broke the rock, then the water would come down and turn to obsidian. there was I couldn't come back the way I came because it turned into obsidian when the water hit the lava. Damn, dude, damn. Like, all I really care about is my gear. But I don't know how I'm gonna find it. I should have saved my coordinates, huh? That was my bad. Oh no. Oh no, dude, that took so long to get that gear. It took so long. It won't take as long because I have all the I have a shit ton of diamonds. And it's not even the diamonds that you need. It's the netherite template. Oh, that's right. I need to go find more netherite. Fuck. Man, oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. That's weird. That's like never happened to me before. And you see how I panicked? I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. I figured it out. I figured out what to do, and I started doing it, but by then it was too late. It took me too long to figure out what to do. Oh, damn. Well, hey, everyone got to see me fail. Big time fail. Oh, that was funny. Now, if I take the time to go, like, earnestly get my stuff back, I won't be able to talk about anything. I'll just be playing Minecraft. Instead of talking about, like, well, yeah, this stuff. Donald Trump is a bad guy. So yeah, like, I don't know if that guy knew what was happening or what, but there's been, like, that was on Thursday, right? I started going through how Donald Trump was trying to send people to prison in a foreign country, which is called a concentration camp, and without due process, which is basically breaking the Constitution. You can't do that, right? That's breaking the Constitution. And I was talking about 4 different cases where he was trying to do it. Ahmed Khalil, the guy from Maryland, and who was El Salvadorian, but like fled because gangs were like gonna kill him. There was Ozturk. She's a what's it called? Ozturk is a PhD student at university in Boston, Massachusetts. There was Mahmoud Khalil. That guy is at Columbia, and he's a legal resident here. He's legally here, and he was arrested and imprisoned and gonna be sent away based on what he said. He was part of a anti-genocide protest, and because of that, the government was gonna well, they labeled him a bad guy, they labeled him a terrorist because of what he said, and they were gonna like punish him without seeing a judge or anything. They just kidnapped him. So like, there's all sorts of these really, really bad things that the Orange Clown administration is doing. Orange Clown regime. There's a lot of bad things they're doing. They're breaking the law all over the place. So, like, yeah, I don't like Donald Trump. But I don't have time to say to this guy all the things that he's done that warrant me to, like, go to a protest against him. There's so many things. So that was just on Thursday, right? There was, like, that was Mahmoud Khalil, and then there was Ozturk. All she did was 2 years ago be a co-author of a student newspaper op-ed that was critical of genocide. It said genocide is bad. The United States shouldn't be helping to commit genocide. Right? That's all she said. And the government tried to, well, they deprived her of her liberty by arresting her, sending her to fucking Louisiana to be deported. Deported, maybe imprisoned. I don't know, right? Because they're just doing crazy shit, the Orange Clown regime. They're like fascists. I mean, I don't know, maybe the kids don't know what fascist means anymore. Like, that old guy didn't know what I meant when I said Nazi salute. Like, I don't know. Did he not know what I meant? Or is he a Nazi and he knew exactly what I meant but just wanted to have plausible deniability? Like, because Nazis won't come out at all if they're not sure you're not another Nazi. Like, there was that video of a white woman, she who admitted to Piers Morgan, a British guy, that she was a racist and she says the N-word all the time. Like, that's unusual. Everyone was shocked that she did it, right? Because normally racists will keep it hidden unless they know for sure they're in like company. So anyways, all sorts of bad things Donald Trump is doing. All sorts of it. All sorts of bad stuff. He's literally destroying the country. But that was on Thursday, right? That was only Thursday. Since my show on Thursday, more stuff has happened. Do you know who Stephen Miller is? Stephen Miller. I called him Steve Miller, but his name is Stephen Miller. He is an advisor to Donald Trump. He's like the shadow president. He's the one really running stuff. Because Donald Trump isn't really aware of what's going on. That's why he keeps saying, I don't know if that's what you're saying is true or not. You have to ask the lawyers. Because he doesn't know. Donald Trump doesn't know. He's not the one running the presidency. He's just the front man. He's like the face. But he doesn't actually know what's going on. Like, the government's being run by other people. They're implementing Project 2025. You know, remember that thing that everyone talked about during the election, and that Donald Trump refused to say that he was going to use it? Well, he's using it. That's what's going on right now. But it's such a complex thing that even he doesn't even know. He just says, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm just here to look pretty and to make the rubes, like, you know, follow along. That's it. So, Stephen Miller said that, oh yeah, they're looking into suspending habeas corpus for migrants. But that's the thing about suspending habeas corpus. Suspending habeas corpus, what that means, habeas corpus is like this ancient law. It's an ancient law since, like, at least the Magna Carta, which is like the first time a check was put on the king. Because before the Magna Carta, kings were absolute tyrants. They could do anything they could with their power. Anything. So, like, if you were a noble, an aristocrat, you weren't a peasant, you weren't a serf, you were an aristocrat. But the king could do whatever he wanted to you if he had the power. And the nobles were getting sick of that. They were getting sick of the king just wrecking their stuff whenever the king wanted, because he's the king. They wanted some way to put a check on the power of the king. And that was like the Magna Carta. I don't know if that... Oh, man, I could be wrong here. I don't remember exactly. I should have looked it up. I didn't realize I was going in this direction. Anyways, Magna Carta is like when they finally wrote down the limits of the powers of the king. Like, I forget, like, maybe the king agreed to give up taxation or something. Some measure of power. The king agreed to give up some measure of power. And that was like the first time. And since that time, there was this thing called habeas corpus. Habeas corpus is pretty much the right to see a judge. The right to go to court. The right to contest the statements of the sovereign, whether that be a king or a government. You have the right to go to trial. You have a right to a trial. You can't they can't just do stuff. It has to be judged if you call for it. So if the government comes in and says, hey, you person with brown skin and tattoos, and you're wearing Chicago Bulls stuff, we're the government, and we say you're a gang member. And so since we determine you're a gang member, we're going to deprive you of your liberty and send you to a foreign concentration camp. And that's what they did. And a judge is coming along and going and saying, wait a minute, you didn't give this guy or any of these people, the right to challenge what the government said. Because for all I know, or for all anybody knows, the government could be lying. So every human in the United States has the right to a trial. Every human. You have a right to see a judge. Every single human. Here, do I have that 4th Amendment? Let me go 14th Amendment. It's the 5th and the 14th. I don't know why they did it twice. Oh no. Where's it at? It's under a window. Under a window you can't see. There it is, right there, see? And I can't drag it over to here. I can't open it in this window. Like, so let's see. I have to do this. Sorry. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't necessary. Okay, move that over here. Alright, and then come back here. And then full screen, borderless, apply. Please don't crash. Hey, look at that. It all worked out, and I have my thing here. Okay, what was I going to look for? 14th Amendment. Yep, right here. The 14th Amendment. They did it twice. The amendment's so nice, they did it twice. Okay, so the first part is the first part tells you that anyone born in the United States is an American citizen. That's the first one. So all persons born or naturalized in the United States, that's only one part of it, right? It's one part of it to be born in the United States. The second part has to also apply. And subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That means not only are you born on American territory or naturalized with America, but you're also subject to American laws. So there's a key there, right? If you're a diplomat, like a French diplomat, and you have your wife here or your husband here, and you give birth to your French child while you live here in the United States, but you're a French diplomat, so you're an employee of France. You're an agent of France. You're working for France. You're a French citizen, but you're here as a diplomat. But you give birth to a child here in the United States. Is that child American? No, that child is French, because the parents are not subject. I mean, they're subject to American law, but they're French. They're French citizens, so they're like held to France. So if they have children, that the kid's gonna be French too. So, anyways, this is all irrelevant. So they're all citizens of the United States and the states of where they reside. Okay, the next part. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. So if you're a citizen of the United States, the government can't pass a law to take away your privileges or immunities. They can't just pass a law saying, oh, okay, now we're not going to do habeas corpus anymore. They can't do it. Here's the part that's important. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So we're talking about liberty, right? Their liberty was taken from them by the government, and they did it without the due process of law. They did it. They literally broke the Constitution. The government literally broke the Constitution. Because why? Why did the government break the Constitution? Because they're not really interested in justice. They're interested in power. Right. Due process of law is in the interest of justice. You want to make sure that everyone's doing the just thing, the correct thing. You don't want someone being corrupt about it. You want everything to be just. So if these people would have went to trial, would have saw a judge, would have had due process of law, they would never have been deprived of their liberty. None of them. None of them. None of them. You could have issued them a summons and said, all right, we think we have something on you and we want to remove you from the country. So the government cannot just come and take your liberty away and lock you up. Can't do that. The government can give you a summons. Hey, dude, ta-da! You are being summoned to court to litigate, to discuss in front of a judge, due process, whether or not you should be here anymore, and we can kick you out. Here's your summons. You're not arrested. You're not like taken into custody. You're free to move about. You still have your liberty. You're just obligated to show up at this time and at this place to do the legal stuff. That's what they could have done. Any one of these people, right? Any one of these people. Abreu Garcia, Azturk, Khalil, any of them. All they had to do was show up, hand them a summons. All right, we want to get rid of you. We, the government, want to get rid of you. So here's the summons to see you in court. And then we're going to start the process. Instead, Donald Trump tried to do the Nazi thing, the Nazi thing, it's an American thing, the fascist thing, the American fascist thing, which is, I'm just going to just ignore the Constitution and deprive you of due process and enforce my power. That's it. Straight power, raw power. Ignore the checks and balances. So the reason why I'm here is because another thing is that hold on, right here, this guy. Oh no, you can see everything. Why can you see everything? What's going on? What? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what happened. That's weird. Okay. Bill Gates. Bill Gates accuses Elon Musk of killing children with U.S. aid cuts. Billionaire reopens feud with Tesla chief as he unveils a plan to spend $200 billion on philanthropy. But what he said was Bill Gates accuses Elon Musk of killing children with cuts to U.S. aid, which is true, right? So when I made this, I made this to show the relative wealth of everyone in the United States. So if you take 20%, the poorest 20% of people, right? They have nothing. Their net wealth is about $1,400, so a block and a half. If each block is $10,000, they have a block and a half. The next 20%, 20 to 40%, they have a net wealth of about $70,000, so 7 blocks. Now the middle class, the middle quintile, 40 to 60% of Americans, they had roughly $160,000. So that's 16 blocks. So that's probably most of your house paid off, is basically what that means. And then now you have 60 to 80%, the richest people in the country. They have a net wealth of $307,000. So that's 30 blocks. They're up there. That's them. So that's like your middle, your poorest to about, your house paid off. Right? Retirement. That's most Americans, right? And then you have like the really rich people, the 80 to 90%. All these were 20%. This is only 10%. This decile has a average net wealth of $747,000. So that's 74 blocks up. And then you have the top 10% have a average net wealth of $2,256,000, 100,000, whatever. $2 million. $2 million. So that's 200 bricks. So it goes from up there and it ends down there. So, right? The people who are the kind of people that take U.S. aid, that are receiving benefit from U.S. aid, are these people here. The ones with nothing. They're the poorest people. Now, Elon Musk came along with Doge, and he killed U.S. aid. So, who is Elon Musk? So, if Elon Musk... Here, hold on. Each block is $10,000. $100,000 is 10 blocks. Therefore, $1 million is 100 blocks, right? So, up there, that's $1 million to the top. This is $1 million. Slow. Okay, so if this is $1 million, right here, if you go a line straight down, that's 2 million. That's 3 million. That's 4 million. That's 5 million. And you keep going down, all the way down. This is 99 million. 98 million, 99 million, $100 million. So if you, from there to here, that's $100 million. Now you make that $200 million over there. 300, 400, 500, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100 million, 10 $100 million. 10 $100 million is $1 billion. That's 1 billion, right? So the poorest people right there, that's what the poorest people have, that 1.5 blocks. And $1 billion is a solid brick like that, like this, all the way across. So, but Elon Musk is not a 1 billionaire. This right here is 10 billion. $10 billion. If you have a solid block, that's $10 billion. But Elon Musk is not a $10 billion. Right? He's not $10 billion. Elon Musk is more than 10 billion, more than 20 billion, more than 30 billion, 40 billion, more than 50 billion, 60 billion. He's more than 70 billion, more than 80 billion, more than 90 billion dollars. You know what? This right here, this spot right here, this is $100 billion. This is, now we're standing on top of $100 billion. 100, you cannot even see the guy with one brick anymore. But that's not all of Elon Musk's wealth, right? This is just $100 billion. He is worth more than $100 billion. Now we're going to come to $200 billion. $200 billion. Like it's like it hurts my brain to even think about 200 million, 200, like, or even looking at that $10 billion was like amazing. But now like 100 billion was crazy. This is $200 billion. $200 billion. We're on Elon Musk's wealth, right? You can't even see the guy. He's so little. You can't, like, there's nothing, you can't even see it. So our poor guy is over there with one little brick. You can't even see him. And all this is $200 billion. Elon Musk is worth more than $200 billion. He's worth at least $300 billion. He used to be worth $400 billion, but now we're down to $300 billion now. So Elon Musk is worth $300 billion, And that a guy who has this much wealth took away from the world's poorest people by closing U.S. aid. Look at what he is, and look at the people he killed. What they are. Elon Musk is an abomination. Like I don't know how any other way to put it to you. He's an abomination. Damn, dude, I want to go back to my other world, but I can't because, like, it's all broken. I mean, like, not broken, but, yeah, I don't want to, I want to try to see if I can save my gear. I'm going to go to a different world. The Construct? What's this one? Catlandu? Oh, yeah, okay. Old. Season 9? That's what I'm in now. What's this? Oh shit. Okay, this is not it. I'm flying, so. Okay, what else? Season 7? Season 8, there we go. That's the one. Back when I still, like... yeah. Back when I still believed the United States was gonna do some good stuff. Yeah, this is my old world. Yay! Okay. So, remember how I said the other day. Oh yeah, here. So suspend habeas corpus. What was the other stuff? Oh yeah, ICE arrested the mayor of Newark. The mayor of Newark showed up with Congress people to do an inspection of the ICE facility in Newark. There's a jail there. So they went through, the congresswoman and the mayor went through and inspected the facility. Then they left, and they were on the outside of the gate when they started doing a press conference. And a bunch of ICE agents came out of their jail and arrested him. Like, he wasn't on ICE property. He was outside of the gates. He was outside, and they came by and arrested him. I mean, they released him a few hours later, but they still arrested the mayor. Dude, so far, the Orange Clown regime has arrested a mayor and a judge. That's kind of freaky. Like, the judge, and both times when it wasn't like they were being arrested for corruption or anything. Both times, those officials who were arrested on bogus charges that get dropped in court. Like, both times. It's crazy. This morning, Qatar bribed Donald Trump with a $400 plane. And the deal to give so Qatar gave Donald Trump a $400 million plane. And the person who signed off on it was Pam Bondi, who is the Attorney General. But Pam Bondi was working as an agent for Qatar. Like, she was getting money from Qatar. So she has a conflict of interest in okaying the transfer, because she was getting money from Qatar. But now she just approved the deal for Donald Trump to get a plane. So Donald Trump is going to use the $400 million plane that he got from Qatar while he's president, and then he's going to gift the plane to his library so that when he's not president, he gets to keep the plane. Like, it's so obvious that Donald Trump is corrupt. It's so obvious. If anyone ever looks, all you have to do is look. I mean, he made, like, you know, do you remember that he made a Bitcoin? He made his own Bitcoin, a meme coin, a crypto coin. He made his own crypto coin, his own cryptocurrency. But since that's unregulated, that crypto stuff is unregulated, and, like, what happened was, it's an easy way to give bribes to Donald Trump. Because all you have to do is invest, quote, quote, a whole bunch of money into the crypto coin. Then Donald Trump, who owns a lot of the crypto coin, the price of the crypto coin goes up. Then Donald Trump sells the crypto coin he has for that inflated price and takes all that money back out and keeps it for himself. It's literally bribery. It's literally bribery. It's like, of course Donald Trump is corrupt. Of course. Finally, the big news that happened was that Donald Trump had a guy fly to Moscow to meet with Vladimir Putin to discuss Ukraine. But when the guy showed up, he showed up alone. He went to the meeting by himself. And he asked the Russian, "Oh, are you my interpreter?" And they're like, yes, I'm your interpreter. So the guy didn't have an American interpreter with him to translate to Russian. He relied on what the Russians gave him. I mean, it's awful. It looks so bad. Because, like, imagine, like, why doesn't Vladimir Putin send people over here and just rely on American interpreters for them? They would never do that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to describe to you the faux pas-ness, the of showing up at your enemy's embassy or enemy's meeting without your own interpreter, without your own people, and relying on them for interpretation. That just seems like the craziest thing. All right, close that one. All right, what else do I got here? Yeah, I like this cartoon. That's Donald Trump. He's destroying rule of law and the Constitution. That's why I don't like Donald Trump. It's clear to anyone who pays attention, which I can see might be hard, right? If you're watching Fox News, you have no idea. It's two different worlds. You have no idea. So the other day, on Thursday, I told you that the Judge Zini, gave homework to the government because the government wants to kick out Mahmoud Khalil based on foreign policy considerations. So the judge is like, okay, government, I want you to give me a list of all the people that the United States kicked out since 1975 based on foreign policy decisions. And you have 1 day to do it. And then the next day, the government came back and said, oh, we need a week. And she said, no, I'll give you 1 more day, and that's it. and the government said, fine. So the government finally came back, and here's what they said. We're going to find examples. There's only 7 people that they found. 2 of the 7 people that they found were the ones that Marco Rubio wants to kick out. So they found, number 1, on April 24th, 2004, Secretary of State Colin Powell recommended to Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Tom Ridge, that the presence of an African national in the United States would have potentially adverse foreign policy consequences. Okay. The government authorities discovered evidence that the individual participated in and or contributed to violent political activity while in Somalia. Oh, okay, right? So the Bush administration asked the Department of Homeland Security to kick out this guy because he was involved in crimes and violent crimes in Somalia. Okay. Number 2, on March 14th, 2025, that's like last month, a month and a half ago, Marco Rubio determined that the presence and activities of another alien. Who, dude? Who? See, over here you said an African national. Right, but over here, just a random generic another alien. So over here, Colin Powell recommended to Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, recommended to another agency. Here, the Secretary of State didn't refer to anybody. They just determined on their own that the presence and activities of an alien would have potentially, not actually, but potentially, serious adverse foreign policy consequences. Because of what? His quote-quote active support, quote-quote hostile environment, quote-quote propaganda. But this wasn't determined by a judge. This wasn't handled by another agency. Marco Rubio just decided this. So this, like, why would you bring up your own, like, the very case that you're arguing right now? Why would you do that? That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, and then the next group of ones that he picked up. On March 3rd, again, 15th, 2025, Secretary of State Rubio. Again, Rubio. So the first one was Colin Powell under Bush. He recommended to DHS that they kick this guy out. Why? Because that guy, they had evidence that guy was involved in political violence in Somalia. They had evidence. They had hard evidence. They said, oh, this guy is like involved in political violence in his home country. Yeah, we shouldn't have him. Let's let them take care of him. All right? But now we have Marco Rubio. He's Secretary of State. He doesn't recommend to anybody. He just decided to act. So on March 15th, Rubio, the same day, right, Rubio determined it. Not a judge, not another department. Rubio determined that the presence and activities of another alien. See, they're like generic. Okay. Has a documented history of anti-Semitism. Well, what does that mean? Like, that's just heresy. I mean, heresy. I don't know, right? What do you mean? How do you mean anti-Semitism? Because I've heard very different definitions of anti-Semitism. Like, Joe Biden said that the student protests were anti-Semitic. But when you look at them, there were Jewish people in the protests, in the anti-genocide protests. Why would Jewish people be in support of the protest if it's anti-Semitic? So that makes you. So I asked Joe Biden, well, what do you mean that they're anti-Semitic if Jewish people are there? What do you mean? And Joe Biden says, oh, I mean that they're against Israel. What does Israel have to do with Jewish people? I mean, I know the Zionists want to say that, oh, we're doing this for all the Jewish people. The same way that white supremacists say, oh, we're doing our violence and hate for all the white people. That's bullshit. The white people have nothing to do with what the white supremacists are doing. The Jewish people have nothing to do with what Israel's doing. It's totally separate things. Israel is a political entity controlled by fascists. Jewish people are a group of people, a culture, a history. Totally separate things. So by mislabeling the student protests as anti-Semitic, Joe Biden has opened up this can of worms, because now Rubio can say anything is anti-Semitic because Joe Biden said it. So, and encounters with law enforcement. Big deal, dude. I've had encounters with law enforcement. I've never been arrested. I've never been charged with anything. Even if I was arrested, big deal. An arrest is nothing. They can arrest you for anything at any time. Like, an arrest is nothing. Like, I know I harp on what's his face? On Donald Trump being a felon. I harp on it like it's a bad thing. The thing is that a lot of people are felons, and it's like often not for violent stuff, and it's often for bullshit, because the criminal justice system isn't perfect. Like, there's a lot of bad stuff about the American criminal justice system, but like, and the same thing with encounters with police. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. Just because you have encounters with police doesn't mean anything. So what's the next thing? Including incidents involving possession of illicit drugs, a domestic dispute with his former spouse, and a 2015 episode in which he visited a gun store and bragged about killing Jews while he was in Palestine. I don't know, right? I don't know any of that stuff. It was never put in front of a judge. You can say whatever you want because it was never in front of a judge. So Secretary Rubio determined that this individual's continual presence would be a bad thing. So far, the judge said, give me a list of all the people that were kicked out for foreign policy reasons. And the two of the three were from Marco Rubio that he was doing. Like, two of the three are from the guy doing it himself anyways. I mean, that's why you're in trial right now, because this guy is trying to do what exactly what you said. So, like, oh my god, they're just dumb, dude. They're stupid. All right, and then later on, I think the government found more. Okay. Now we're changing administrations again. Now we're getting away from Rubio. On January 5th, 1995, Secretary of State Warren Christopher determined that the presence in this country of Mohammed J.A. Khalifa, a Saudi national, would have potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences. So they named the guy, right? He's not just a random alien, quote, quote, not just an alien, like, because when you just say an alien, you can't look it up and see if what Rubio is saying is true or not. He could be saying anybody. It could be anybody, right? Anybody. This guy, but all the other ones, you're going to find out, are all named. Okay, why did they want to kick him out? Because he was convicted for terrorism in Jordan. That's why. So the first guy kicked out by the Bush administration because he was involved in political crimes in Jordan, in Jordan. Oh, no, that was the last. This one. What was it? In Somalia. In Somalia. This guy is being kicked out because he's a criminal in Jordan. What got anything? Anybody else? What about more people? Why we do? Check it out. So that was under Clinton. Now on March 29th, 95, Warren Christopher recommended to Attorney General Janet Reno. So he didn't do it himself. He recommended to the Attorney General. See, here, the last one was like that, wasn't it? They were unable to locate the relevant letter from Secretary of State Christopher to Attorney General. So Warren didn't determine himself or didn't do the thing himself. He recommended to another agency to do it. So again, Warren recommended to AG Reno, a Haitian national, get kicked out because he was the co-founder and legal leader of an illegitimate paramilitary organization responsible for numerous human rights violations in Haiti. Right? So the guy was wanted in Haiti. And okay, in 95, Secretary of State Warren kicked out Mario Ruiz Massieu because of existing allegations of Ruiz Massieu's engagement in political corruption in Mexico. Oh, okay. He was the former second-ranking law enforcement official in Mexico and had been criminally charged in Mexico. Oh, so this guy who is getting kicked out is like wanted in Mexico for committing crimes. Okay. In 97, Secretary of State Madeleine Albright recommended to AG Janet Reno the presence of a Palestinian national was the top leader of a designated foreign terrorist organization. The top leader. And been declared a specially designated terrorist. In addition, 2 U.S. courts had found probable cause that this person was criminally responsible for 10 incidences of terrorism. So he was kicked out. So in all the examples of people other than the Donald Trump clown administration, the guy that they kicked out was responsible for crimes. In every one of them. But for the 2 guys that they picked out just so yeah, all the people that were kicked out were guilty of crimes or alleged to have done crimes in other countries. That's not the case with the 2 people that Rubio wants to kick out. They have no criminal record. They have no criminal record. If they had a criminal record, they would have said this guy was charged in court with rah 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 rah. But none of them have a criminal record. So Marco Rubio, so the government just showed that they have no reason to kick out these people without due process. There's no reason. They have no reason. If they had a reason, they would have said so. But they don't. They don't have a reason. Historically, anyone who's been kicked out was guilty of crimes in their other countries. So they weren't deported to a third country and immediately imprisoned. They were deported back to their home country, and their home country did whatever they wanted. So what Donald Trump is doing is a concentration camp. I mean, do you understand that? He's not deporting people to their home country and then letting them go, letting the government do whatever. He's literally transporting people to a prison in a foreign country. Without due process. They don't get to see a judge to prove if they should be deported or not. The government alleges all sorts of crazy shit, but doesn't ever have to prove it because it never went to court. So anything they do to anybody else, they can do to us. It's not like, because all they have to do is say, hey, we think you're a gang member, we're picking you up, and since you're a criminal, you don't get due process. Oh, but I'm an American citizen. Well, you can't prove it because you don't get due process. You see what I mean? It can be used against you. I don't care if you're a citizen. It can be used against you. You can't prove you're a citizen if you don't have due process. Remember, most of the concentration camps weren't in Germany either. Hitler put them all abroad, all the easier to forget they existed. Out of sight, out of mind. So, remember, Donald Trump keeps claiming, oh yeah, I'm attacking the universities because of anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism. That's what Donald Trump loves to say. He loves to accuse other people of anti-Semitism. And so he's taking away all the money from the universities, not to make them close down, but to kill their science. He's killing the American science. That's what he's doing. He's not stopping anti-Semitism. He doesn't give a fuck about anti-Semitism. You want to know how I know Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about anti-Semitism? You want to know how I know? So this guy right here is named Robert Keith Packer. He's a fucking Nazi. He's a Nazi. He was arrested in camp. He was wearing this shirt, right? It says, Camp Auschwitz. Work brings freedom. So he's a Nazi. He's basically promoting the concentration camp because he's a fucking Nazi. He was there on January 6th. Remember when they tried to overthrow the government of the United States? He was there. So he was arrested in this shirt on January 6th. Donald Trump, who has removed Harvard funding for, quote, not doing enough to stop anti-Semitism, fully pardoned this guy. Donald Trump fully pardoned this Nazi. He doesn't act. So Donald Trump clearly does not actually care about anti-Semitism whatsoever. It's just a useful weapon for him that Joe Biden handed him. Because Joe Biden is a Zionist. And he sacrificed American democracy for Zionism. So, remember how the world's richest Nazi, Elon Musk, is cutting all these government programs to quote save money, right? So he cut the national endowments to the humanities. Between its founding in 1965 and fiscal year 2024, the National Endowment for the Humanities received congressional appropriations totaling $7.37 billion. National Endowment of Humanities used this funding to support thousands of individuals and cultural organizations, both directly through various grant programs and indirectly through funds distributed by the 56 state and jurisdictional humanities councils. Beyond these appropriations, grantees raised millions of dollars more from non-federal donors as part of a grant matching requirements. To put NEH appropriations in perspective, this chart shows cumulative annual per capita contribution to the NEH by age. That is, the total dollar amount the average taxpayer has given to NEH over their lifetime. A few relevant purchases are helpfully included to show what a person could have bought instead had they kept their personal NEH contribution for themselves. So, So at 16, at 13 years old, just in time to feed a growth spurt, a person at 13 years old has contributed enough to NEH that they can instead purchase 1 dozen eggs at 13. Millennials who are at least 36 years old could exchange their nearly 4 decades worth of NEH support for a 1-month subscription to Netflix. Those 50 years or older who have been contributing to the agency for nearly its entire existence could have saved that money to purchase about half a tank of gas, 8 gallons, at $3.23 a gallon. So 50 years old, you have contributed a total of $26 to the National Endowment for the Humanities, and you've gotten back a million, like a bunch more in value from that contribution. But Elon Musk killed that program, and that takes away from all of us, because the humanities, the arts are for all of us, not just for the rich. The rich just want it to be for them. Anyways. Air Force One. The Trump administration plans to accept a luxury Boeing 747-800 plane from the Qatari royal family that will be upgraded to serve as Air Force One, a senior official with direct knowledge of the matter said. The official said the plane would be donated to President Trump's presidential library when he leaves office, allowing him to continue using it as a private citizen. The plan, involving possibly the biggest foreign gift ever received by the U.S. government, raises substantial ethical issues. Right? Like a $400 million bribe to the president directly raises ethical issues? Maybe just a little bit. That's why I say Donald Trump is corrupt. I mean, there's so many reasons, so many things why Donald Trump is corrupt. Could you imagine if Barack Obama accepted a $400 million plane from, I don't know, somebody? What's a country that MAGA hates? I don't know. Like, we'll say Ukraine. Imagine Barack Obama got a $400 million plane from Ukraine. They would flip out. So, I mean, like, I'm kind of flipping out right now that Donald Trump is receiving a $400 million plane from Qatari royalty that he's going to keep for himself. He's not even going to give it to the next president, to the government. He's going to take it with him when he leaves. I mean, like, that's an obvious bribe, dudes. That's an obvious bribe. Obviously a bribe. So, you have to understand that the Republican Party is the reincarnation of the Confederacy. And that it's always been their plan to do ethnic cleansing. It's always been their plan. Remember this? Remember that? When they all held up, those are like nice signs. There's a lot of signs. And look at all those white people holding it up. All those white people holding up signs saying mass deportation now. All those white people holding these signs up. It's a white supremacist movement. It's ethnic cleansing. The same thing they're doing to Palestine, they're doing here. The same thing they're doing to Palestine, they're doing here. So, Donald Trump wants to defund PBS too, which is crazy. So, PBS didn't become woke. You grew up to be a bad person. Yup. Donald Trump suggested that Vladimir Putin and Zelensky meet for peace talks. And Zelensky said, "Yep, okay, let's do it. Turkey, let's do it. Let's meet Vladimir Putin. Let's meet in Turkey," which is like the neutral country, I guess. I mean, Turkey is technically in NATO, but the way Turkey plays it, like they also work with Russia too, so they're supposed to be a democracy, but their dude Erdogan, whatever his name is a bad guy and is not really playing the democracy game. The microbiome. All the tree wells are scary. I guess not. Alright. I'm like, is that powdered snow? Yeah. So I guess Norm Eisen was looked over it the last time in another administration. Overseeing the presidential gift rules was among my duties as White House ethics czar, so I know how it's supposed to work. The gift of this plane to Trump is illegal and unconstitutional. The AG and White House counsel ought to be ashamed of themselves for allowing it. So, since I administrate the White House annulments rules, let me explain why this is forbidden. Trump expressed interest in it before it was offered. He is going to use and benefit from it while in office, and he's going to keep using it after he leaves. Functionally, it's a gift to him, and so it's illegal. So Donald Trump is receiving bribes from foreign governments. Like, yet another reason why I don't like Donald Trump, why he needs to be in prison. At the very least, in prison. Really, he should be tried for treason, and if found guilty, he should be executed. Hey, when the last time he was president, he killed 13 people. He executed 13 people, so what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If Donald Trump is found guilty of treason, he should be executed too. Alright, what else do we got here? Anyways. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot, it's just different. Like, it feels different when I do it on a schedule, whereas when I just do it whenever I want to do it. The show. Like, I guess listening to the show like randomly in the week on Thursday was probably a lot nicer. because I didn't show any slides. I just talked. I just gabbed. But I can't do that all the time. Like, it just happens or it doesn't. So, anyways, can't believe I lost all my stuff. Shit. Fuck. Because it's gone. I don't know how I'm gonna find it. I gotta like fall in that little hole, and like, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna find it. It's probably gone. I'm so sad. If I would have not panicked and like looked at my coordinates, I could have like saved it, but I didn't even look at my coordinates. I guess you can make a copy of the world. Maybe I can make a copy of the world, and then I don't know if it copies over. It'll copy over the items though. If I go there in creative, if I can find it in creative, and then once I find the coordinates in creative, I can try to make it there in time. Because you only have 5 minutes. I only have 5 minutes. Anyways. Alright, that'll do me for now. I will catch you another time. Like, the courts are working through it slowly, but that's the problem. They're really, really slow. And if we can make it to the next election, we can kick out all the Republicans, and then Donald Trump will be hobbled. He won't be able to do his agenda anymore. His like ethnic cleansing agenda. So, although it's really weird, like it's obvious that we didn't learn enough from the Nixon trial. Like, so Richard Nixon used the Justice Department as his personal army, and that's what Donald Trump is doing. Like after Nixon, the Department of Justice was supposed to have an attorney general who was independent from the president. Well, that's not the case anymore. All of Donald Trump's attorney generals were all beholden to him. Billy Barr, beholden to him. Jeff Sessions, beholden to him. So he quit because he couldn't do it. Pam Bondi, beholden to Trump. Like, none of them are independent. They all work for Donald Trump, like, and do his bidding. That's why they arrested the mayor of Newark. That was Donald Trump who wanted that. So, anyways, I will, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Hopefully the courts will hold somebody in contempt and put them in jail. Because, like, oh, it's looking crazy. Like, if they want to suspend habeas corpus, they want to, like, be able to arrest anybody they want for any reason. Anyways, we shall see. Okay, until next time, Pogo Kiddo out. Peace. Stop.